A solemn atmosphere blanketing the western Canadian city of Vancouver as hundreds attended vigils for victims of a car ramming attack over the weekend. Authorities described this as the darkest day in the city's history. Local community members have gathered to pay their respects, lighting candles, laying flowers, and writing notes. Messages of condolences and support also pouring in from across the world. Local officials are working with provincial and federal authorities to provide support services for the community.
The turnout here shows that there's a lot of love for the Filipino community. The fact that all levels of government, as far as elected politicians that were here, coming out in solidarity with the Filipino community shows that the Filipino community is loved and welcomed here.
At least 11 people were killed and several others injured after a car drove into a crowd at a Filipino street festival on Saturday night. Police have arrested 30-year-old suspect, that's a Kai G. Adam Low, who faces 8 counts of second-degree murder. He has appeared in court and remains in custody with further charges anticipated. Police have ruled out terrorism, saying the suspect has a history of mental health issues. The incident took place 2 days before Canada's federal election. More, we're joined by Karina Huber live from Montreal. Karina, we've heard just a little bit about charges laid against the suspect there. What's the latest on investigations into this car ramming attack?
That is correct. Now, as you mentioned, that is 8 counts of second-degree murder in Canada. That is widely defined as, intentional killing that wasn't planned in advance. And as you mentioned, the police have ruled that it was a terrorist attack. They do not believe that it was politically, racially motivated, but that it was really due to mental illness. This is an individual who had a strong history of interactions with the Vancouver Police Department and a long history with mental health issues. So that seems to be what the motive is at this moment. We do expect further charges in the days to come. The next hearing will be taking place on May 26th in Vancouver at a provincial court. In terms of security, officials are facing lots of questions about what went wrong. Could they have done something to prevent the attack in the first place? Was the security adequate? In a press conference yesterday, the police chief of Vancouver said that there were no credible threats ahead of the event. However, there was a Facebook posting a day before the event by the organizers of the event, Filipino BC, where they indicated that there were some verbal threats against Black performers who were scheduled to appear at the festival. So we'll have to see what investigators make about that posting, but there will be an investigation. We're hearing that the province's premier said they will work with the city of Vancouver and the police department to really delve into what went wrong and how they can ensure that events that take place in the future will be secure. A 24-hour assistance center has been set up in a nearby park to help the victims, the family members of the victims. That's at the Douglas Park Community Center. And also the chair of the event is sharing details on how to send money to the victims. But right now the priority remains in securing the privacy of the family members so they can grieve. Wei Su?
Ms. Huber, in Vancouver, this attack will be on people's minds. But of course, it happened less than 2 days before elections in Canada. Polls are just starting to open across the country. Other issues will be on people's minds as they head to the ballot box.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the polls have just opened in Eastern Canada, where there's a lot of Liberal support there. The provinces really to watch in this election are Quebec and Ontario, that hold the largest number of seats in the House of Commons. So those will be the ones to watch. And the results should be coming in about 24 hours from now. So we'll get a sense of who the next Prime Minister of Canada will be. Top of minds on the issues, it depends on who you ask. For many Canadians, it is the threat of Trump, tariffs, and annexation of Canada that has really united Canadians in wanting a leader who's going to be a strong man to confront the Trump threat at the moment. And for many Canadians, that seems to be the current Prime Minister, Mark Carney, who's the Liberal leader. And he is a strong background in economics, which is seen as a big asset right now. He was the former head of the Bank of Canada during the 2008 global financial crisis. He's widely seen as being someone who effectively navigated Canada through those turbulent times. He was also the head of the Bank of England during Brexit, so he's got a strong economic portfolio. He's also been very vocal in insisting that Canada's sovereignty is not up for negotiation and that he will meet any U.S. tariffs with reciprocal Canadian tariffs. Now, the leader of the opposition, Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party, who is a populist, has had a harder time dealing with Trump, in part because a portion of his base supports Trump, so he can't be seen as too forcefully against Trump. But of course, people are concerned about Canadian sovereignty. So that's one of the issues. The other issue, of course, is longstanding issues related to the high cost of housing, inflation, and Poilievre is very strong on that message. So the question for Canadians right now is, are you looking for the leader of change, which is Poilievre, or are you looking for the leader who is going to represent stability in turbulent times? And that is Mark Carney.
Thanks for that. Karina Huber there reporting live from Montreal. Of course, we'll be covering those elections in Canada right here on Channel News Asia.